The central, devastating truth about financial exploitation in later life is that the person most likely to steal your retirement savings is not a stranger, it is your own child. Now, today we're diving into this really difficult but urgent topic. It's a threat nobody likes to talk about, but you know what? It's happening every single day in families just like yours. We're going to talk about the money betrayal and, more importantly, how you can protect yourself and the people you love from it.
You know, all our lives, we're taught to watch out for the scammer on the phone, right? The suspicious email. But the evidence, and so many heartbreaking stories, they all point to a threat that's much, much closer to home. This is the money betrayal. It's this quiet, sneaky problem that grows not really from malice, but from a mix of trust, good intentions gone wrong, and just some really flawed financial tools. So today, we're going to pull back the curtain and lay out a clear, actionable plan to make sure this doesn't happen to you.
So here's the painful paradox of it all. We spend so much energy, so much time building firewalls against threats from the outside. We get security software, we shred our documents, we ignore phone numbers we don't know. We're just conditioned to look for danger out there. But the biggest, most damaging financial threat? It often comes from right inside our most trusted circle. It's not some shadowy hacker. It's the son or the daughter that we love dearly. Just understanding this shift in perspective is the first, most critical step toward being truly secure in your later years.
Now, it's so important to get this next part. This kind of betrayal, it's rarely a cold, calculated plot. It almost never starts with the child deciding, I'm going to steal from my parents. No, it starts with kindness, with convenience. A parent wants to make it easier for their child to help out with bills, so they give them access. But this door, opened with the absolute best of intentions, creates a massive, massive risk when you combine it with flawed financial tools and just the everyday pressures of life.
Right, so that's the key question. If it's not about a lack of love, then what's the actual mechanism that lets this happen? Well, it all comes down to a fundamental misunderstanding of some very common financial tools, things people use every day thinking they're being helpful and responsible. Let's break down the most common and the most dangerous one.
And this right here is the absolute crucial point, the legal structure of a joint account. When you add your child as a joint account holder, you are not just giving them permission to help you out. In the eyes of the law, you are giving them 100% ownership of every single dollar in that account, the moment their name goes on it. It doesn't matter if it was your life savings from 40 years of hard work, legally, it's now just as much theirs as it is yours. The bank cannot and will not stop them from taking every last penny.
This just shows the massive gap between what we think we're doing and what we are actually doing. The intention is pure convenience. Hey, let me add you to my account so you can pay my bills if I'm ever in the hospital. But the legal reality? It's a complete surrender of control. You have just gifted them your money. And now that money is totally exposed to everything happening in their life. Their debts, their creditors, maybe a messy divorce, or, simply their own bad judgment.
And this is where the whole emotional dynamic kicks in. Once that legal access is there, the family bank can kind of unofficially open for business. Your adult child might be going through a really tough time financially, a job loss, medical bills, crushing debt. They see this account, which is now legally theirs too, and the temptation can just become overwhelming. They might just borrow a little, fully intending to pay it back. But then a little becomes a lot, and the lines start to get really blurry between helping mom and dad and helping themselves from mom and dad's account. This kind of financial abuse is just uniquely devastating, and it's for three reasons. First, it's not a one-time thing. It's like a slow leak. A few $100s here, $1,000 there, and it can go totally unnoticed for years. Second, it's draining irreplaceable capital. This isn't income you can just earn back. This is a fixed retirement nest egg. Once it's gone for good. And finally, the most painful part, the emotional barrier. How do you report your own child? The shame, the guilt, the desire to protect them, it often leads victims to just suffer in silence, which allows the damage to continue until it's just far too late. So, how do we stop this from happening? Well, the solution isn't to trust your children less, not at all. It's about adopting a new, really powerful mindset that completely separates the ideas of love and legal access. And this right here is the core principle that changes everything.
I want you to burn this phrase into your mind. Trust does not equal access. You can and you should trust your children. You can love them with your entire heart, but that love does not, and it should not, automatically translate into legal access to your life savings. Separating these two ideas, emotional trust and financial access, is the single most important defense you can build. It's for your sake, and honestly, for theirs too.
The whole strategy for your financial protection really hinges on this one idea. You have to remain the captain of your own ship. You maintain sole decisional control over your money for as long as you are physically and mentally able to. The minute you give up that control too early, you're just inviting risk. The goal isn't to block your kids from helping you, it's to make sure that you, and only you, are making the decisions until you are medically certified as being unable to do so.
So this really lays out the two main ways people mistakenly give up control. We've talked about the joint account surrender, where you basically hand over 100% ownership. The second, and it's just as dangerous, is the immediate power of attorney. A lot of people sign a standard POA thinking it's for later, but often it becomes effective the moment you sign it. That means your child could, legally, walk into your bank tomorrow and drain your accounts, even if you are perfectly healthy and capable. Both of these actions give away control that should be yours and yours alone.
Okay, so we've defined the threat, we've established our core principle for protection. Now, let's get practical. How do we actually put this principle into action? I'm going to walk you through a clear, 4-step toolkit you can use to secure your finances, and you can start today.
This is your roadmap. It's not complicated, but it is thorough. We're going to audit what's already out there, we'll review the legal documents you have in place, we're going to create a system for oversight, and we'll prepare for those difficult conversations. Let's take each one of these steps one by one.
Step 1 is to audit every single one of your accounts. If you have a child listed as a joint account holder, it's time to change that. The safer, smarter alternative is a P.O.D. or T.O.D. designation. That's payable on death or transfer on death. These are just simple forms you fill out at your bank. And here's the magic of it. They give your child zero access, zero ownership, and zero control while you're alive, but they ensure a totally seamless, immediate transfer of the money when you pass away. It perfectly accomplishes the goal of inheritance without exposing you to a lifetime of risk.
Okay, step 2. Pull out your power of attorney document. You need to find out if it's immediate or if it's springing. A springing POA is really the gold standard for your protection. What it means is that the immense power you're granting only springs into effect after 1 or even 2 doctors have certified in writing that you can no longer manage your own affairs. This is an absolute non-negotiable safeguard. If your document doesn't have this clause, it's time to see an attorney and get it updated.
Step 3 is all about creating transparency through a simple check and balance. Think of it like a friendly alarm system. You can arrange with your bank to have a duplicate copy of your monthly statement sent to another trusted person, maybe another one of your children who isn't involved in your daily finances, a niece or a longtime friend. This isn't about spying, it's about accountability. The simple fact that a second pair of eyes is reviewing the statements is often enough to deter any temptation before it even starts. It really protects everyone.
And finally, step 4. This one addresses the emotional side of things. It is incredibly difficult to say no to a child you love who's in trouble. That's why you need a script, something you prepare in advance. Decide with your spouse or on your own what your policy is, and then practice saying it. Something like, "We love you more than anything, and because we love you, we have to be honest. Our financial plan is built to last for our lifetime. We've set it up with our advisor, and we just cannot deviate from it. We can't give you money, but we are here to help you find other resources, to brainstorm solutions, and to offer our full emotional support." A prepared, objective response like that, it just neutralizes the pressure and protects you from making a decision you really can't afford.
Now that we have the practical steps, I kind of want to reframe this entire conversation, because putting these protections in place is not an act of suspicion, it is fundamentally an act of self-respect. It's an act of empowerment. It's all about dignity. Thinking about this stuff isn't selfish. Taking these steps is not paranoid. You have worked your entire life to build this security. You have saved and sacrificed and planned. Protecting that nest egg is about honoring that lifetime of work. It is you taking care of the person you're going to be in 5, 10, or 20 years in the most profound way possible.
Financial independence is so tied to personal independence. Having control over your own resources is what allows you to make your own choices, to live where you want to live, to get the kind of care you want to get. It is the very foundation of autonomy. By safeguarding your finances, you are safeguarding your dignity and your ability to live your final chapters on your own terms. You've earned that, and you absolutely deserve it.
And let's remember, this is about so much more than money. The financial loss is of course devastating, but the emotional trauma of betrayal, that can shatter families forever. By setting up these clear, firm, and healthy financial boundaries, you are not pushing your children away. You are actually building a firewall to protect your relationship with them from being destroyed by financial messes and temptation. This disciplined approach is truly an act of love for your entire family. We've covered a lot of ground here.
From understanding this hidden threat to adopting a whole new mindset and learning the practical tools for protection. So now, let's bring it all home to a single clear starting point. A gentle challenge to move you from just listening to actually doing.
If you take only one single thing away from our time together, please let it be this. The money betrayal happens because trust is mistaken for necessity. We think, because I trust you, I need to give you access. The truth is, you don't. You can have all the trust and love in the world and still maintain wise, protective boundaries. Convenience is never, ever worth the risk of your life savings.
So what's your very first step? It's simple. You don't have to call a lawyer or go to the bank today. Just take out a piece of paper, and for your eyes only, just make a list. List every bank account, every investment account, every credit card where your child is listed as a joint owner or has the power to sign for you. That's it. Just create the list.
Awareness is always the first step towards security. So as we close, let's just remember what we've learned. The greatest threat to your savings often comes not from a stranger, but from right inside the family circle, enabled by this unnecessary legal access we grant out of love. But we've also seen the most powerful way to counter this, to avoid joint accounts entirely and instead use simple, powerful tools like payable on death designations. This keeps your assets securely under your control during your lifetime. Putting these informed boundaries in place, it isn't about a lack of trust. It is the ultimate expression of it. It protects your dignity, it protects your finances, and perhaps most importantly, it protects your relationship with the people you love most from the pressures that money can create. It allows you to move forward with a calm confidence, knowing you are prepared, protected, and in control.